It's IGTV. Keeping new music alive is what I do on the radio and now on video. Conducting live chats with the artists and learning the stories behind their latest release and also playing their new video. Special thanks to my good friend Jody Best of Best Bet Promotions for coordinating and scheduling today's artists. Having over 20 plus years in the music industry, if you're looking for a highly successful promotion and marketing professional who's extremely motivated, look no further than Jody Best. For more information, contact Jody via email at bestbetpromo@yahoo.com. Special thanks today to my sponsor, Go-Go Tuners, for all guitar players looking for a focus on ease of use, readability, durability, and accuracy. Look no further. The Go-Go Tuner is the choice of many touring professionals and a favorite of casual players. Go-Go's signature green you're in and red you're out screen makes tuning quick and easy. For more information, go to the website at gogotuners.com. Special thanks to WBXO Classic Rock Radio Redefined, allowing me to keep new music alive on the radio airways on the Pat Show every Sunday from 5 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. Only on WBXO Classic Rock Redefined. And a big thank you to Mr. Evan Balzer for allowing me to use his amazing instrumental that you're hearing right now. It's called Trails. To find out more incredible music by Evan, go to his website at evanbalzer.com. And my special guest today is rocker Aaron Leigh of Y&T, who also has a solo career, and he's recently released a new single titled Live For Today, which officially is out on Friday, June 25th. I talked to Aaron about his love for music, how it all started, how he met Frank Hannon and joined the Frank Hannon Band, how he ended up in Y&T, and a whole lot more right here on Pat Soundbytes IGTV. Hey, welcome to Pat Soundbytes IGTV, keeping new music alive on the radio and on the video. And speaking of new music, you know how much I love new music. A pleasure to have this rocker, I think he's on that side, today on my show. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He's a singer. He's a songwriter. He's an accomplished studio engineer, mixer, producer. He's got his own solo career. He's certainly jammed with some big names in the rock and roll industry. He's been in my good friend Frank Hannon's band. And you might just recognize him and know him as a killer bassist for the incredible, legendary hard rock band Y&T. And I'm talking Mr. Adam Leigh over here on the side. How are you, brother?
Well, first off, it's not Adam, it's Aaron.
Oh, Aaron Leigh. Jeez, Aaron Leigh. Aaron Leigh. Jesus.
Hey, what are you going to do, you know?
So pumped up today, Aaron. Jesus.
So Patrick, I'm really happy to be on your show today. And we were just discussing some things before we started this about, you know, getting new music out there and how you support the new music. And I want to say to everyone, you know, it's really difficult to get ears on new music these days. And this man here, Patrick Calamari, is doing that. And I really appreciate it. And I hope you do too.
Well, thank you, sir, for taking a minute to say that. I appreciate it. Aaron has released a new track called Live For Today. I can't wait to get it on our rotation. It officially comes out on June 25th, and it rocks. And oh my goodness, I mean, you know, the whole COVID thing, Aaron, is like, when it first happened, people were like freaking out. And I was so thrilled that people were putting on new music. As you know, it's so hard. You put on a new EP or a single, and you're so used to going out and promoting it. And then there's no live shows, and you're like, now what do I do? But thank God artists were putting out new music. And as I said before, I tell my wonderful bride, mute Mike and Molly and listen to this. And we look at each other going, it should be a top 100, top 20, top 10. So I'm blessed, Aaron, to be able to do what I do. And if you need anything, you contact me. You'll have my number. You talk to my good friend Frank Hannon, who I drive crazy, and we'll talk about that wonderful human being in a second. But your track rocks, Aaron. Before we get into the track, and I know you released an EP and all that. I always start off, what got you into the love of music, Aaron? How did it all start for you? Family members play, first concert? What was it that got you that bug that you said, I want to do this?
Well, if I roll way back to the very beginning of my memory of any sort of music introduction to me to play is from my grandmother. From when I was, I want to say I was like 5 years old. She came over the house and she brought a practice pad and some drumsticks with her.
Wow.
She sat me down on the couch and she showed me how to hold the drumsticks in a traditional way, like Steve Smith or Buddy Rich, right? Well, so then she proceeds to go and turn on the television, and she turns on the Mike Douglas show, which I'm sure you remember. And it was Buddy Rich on the Mike Douglas show, and she had me watch him, showed me how to hold the sticks, and I was off and running from there to learn how to play drums. So drums was my first instrument, and so that was my earliest introduction to wanting to play music and getting into music. And then it just like millions of others, it was Kiss Alive 2 that really sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kiss Alive 2 was the thing that really, staring at that gatefold with all the fire and they're up on the risers, and it's just like, wow, superhero time. And while everyone else was out, all these kids were outdoors playing sports, I was inside learning how to try to be Gene Simmons. So, that sparked to want to play music for my life. Actually.
That is incredible. I know exactly. I've seen Kiss, I don't know how many times. And I remember the first time AC/DC opened up in 1978. I got to go in New Haven, Connecticut. And, AC/DC blew my mind. Like, what is this? With Bon Scott running around and Angus. And it was like, whoa. But they didn't get really the love that they deserved, that we loved to later on when, it all came out. I love the old AC/DC, obviously, and what they got going on certainly today. But like you said, Kiss, Gene and Paul and the Risers and Bombs and Pyros, I'm like, whoa, nobody's ever seen anything like that. So yeah, I know exactly how you feel and how that could relate. Did you play in school? Did you go in band in school and play drums or take further lessons, or before you got probably into the battle of the bands and all that?
No, I didn't do any of those things. In fact, I cut school so that I could play my guitar. I would take off early and bail out. And where I lived as a kid, my school was very close to the school. So kids knew when I was home cutting because they could hear my son amplifier cranking in the garage, So they're like probably jealous that I'm not in school, but they are.
They said, "Oh wait, he's got a new tune. Crank it up, Aaron."
Oh yeah, he's playing some Doobie Brothers. All right.
Well, that's cool. So it started with the drums, and it led into, obviously, you mentioned Gene with a bass. And did you take any lessons at all, piano or anything?
So from drums, I went to guitar, and I did take a couple lessons from an old Italian man that, and I must have been about 10 years old at that point. And lessons weren't for me because they were too structured. And the teacher, he was a real old school guy, and he worked out of this little antique shop, and he had a little studio in the back where he would teach his students. And I would go there on a Sunday morning, and he would show me things like Jingle Bells and how to read music and green sleeves and things like that. But I just found it easier to learn things by ear, like a lot of musicians, that I can just hear it and they just play it, if I spend some time to figure it out. But he got frustrated with me because he knew that I wasn't reading the music because he was watching my eyes. He was watching as I was scrolling along. I wasn't really looking at anything. I was just playing it. So he yelled at me and made me feel like very, very terrible. So I quit. And those were the last lessons I ever took in my life. And then from guitar, I jumped to bass because there was just so many guitar players in my neighborhood when I was a kid. We all wanted to form a band, but there was no bass player. Everyone played guitar or drums. So I said, well, then I'll just play bass. And then I started listening to Rush and Geddy Lee. And then that's, and Steve Harris from Iron Maiden and Phil Kennemore from Y&T. You know, it's these rock bands of that time period that really formed basically how I play bass today. You know, between Phil Kennemore, Steve Harris, Geddy Lee, Paul McCartney. I mean, I can go on and on about bass players, but those Prince is another one, great bass player. Those were the influential ones for me. And then around 20 years old, my grandmother, the other grandmother, she gave me a piano for my 20th birthday and a big upright. So I started learning how to play piano at that time. And right around that time, started dabbling and trying to learn how to sing as well. So, you know, it's just a natural progression of basically what's put in front of me. I try to play it. And the latest instrument that I put in front of myself and I told I'm going to try to do is a hammered dulcimer. So I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a Renaissance instrument. And it was like if you ever watched Game of Thrones and you hear the little harpsichord.
Yeah.
That's a hammered dulcimer. It's a very Renaissance type of period of instruments. And so I've got that in the next room that I try to, you know, bang on every now and then. And I say, if I get good enough to play at a Renaissance fair, then I've done all I can do with it, right? So that's pretty much, you know, I just love music. I've always loved music. I love being in the studio. I love recording. I love playing with other people. It's just, you know, it's a lifestyle, man. I'm a lifer. What can I say?
Good. And we love you that you do that. That's a great story. And thanks for taking the time to share that with us. That's pretty cool. Are you in Sacramento, Aaron? Is that how your connection with Frank?
Yeah, I'm right outside of Sacramento, little northeast of Sacramento. And my connection with Frank started back in 2000.
Uh-oh. Lost your audio. There you go.
Sorry about that. I have
okay.
Okay. So my beginnings with Frank Hannon back in 2012, I used to do some booking for a local club here in town. And I was in there one day having lunch and I turned around to look behind me because I felt a presence behind me. And it was this blonde, long-haired dude. And I said to my buddy, I go, hey, is that Frank Hannon? Because I wasn't too sure, you know. And he goes, yeah, that's Frank. So I turned around and introduced myself. We got to talking a little bit. I said I was a bass player. He took my number, started asking questions like, what kind of gear do you play out of? Who do you listen to? What kind of bass players is he like? And I wasn't even trying to get in his band or anything. I just met him and we just engaged in conversation. I'd say about a month later, he was out on the road with the Scorpions, Tesla was, and I get a phone call from Frank saying, hey, I want you to play with my drummer for my solo band. And so I went and did that. And basically the drummer got back to him and said, he's the guy, let's get him in the band, you know? So that's how I joined Frank Hannon's solo band back in 2012. And I've said this numerous times to many people that without Frank meeting that day, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you because Frank played a major role in how doors open once, you know, you're in the circle, so to speak, you know. People think the music business is some, you know, big thing. It's very small. It's a very tight unit situation. And a lot of people know each other. And it just, you know, it's like a little network of same like-minded types of people that, you know, it's not as big as everything that people think it is. So word travels quickly about guys that are really good. And, you know, so after playing with Frank, you know, he got busy with Tesla and I ended up being his guitar tech out on a Tesla tour with Styx and Def Leppard, which is really cool of Frank to do because he could have just said, all right, see, I'm going on tour and, you know, go fend for yourself. But he actually gave me a job to, you know, go make some money and be out on the road and meeting more people. And that's where I'm getting to with the doors that would open, you know. And so that led to the Y&T thing, because being a guitar tech for Tesla, a lot of people don't know this is I did 30 days as a guitar tech for Dave Meniketti and John Nyman.
Wow.
Right before I joined the band, I went out for 30 days because their guitar tech couldn't do a portion of the US tour. And Jill Meniketti called me and she asked if I was interested. And of course, I would love to get that Les Paul in my hand and put strings on it and get intimate with Dave Meniketti's Les Paul.
Oh, boy.
I mean, if that's all I get out of it, that's great, but it went further than that, So after 30 days, I think just maybe them being around me, knowing that we could travel together, things weren't weird, it was a good hang, things like that, that's when I got an email asking if I was interested in joining the band. So, and that was in 2016.
No such thing as a coincidence. Things happen for a reason. I really, truly believe that. And there is no better soul than Frank Hannon, what he's doing for these young kids and what he did for you. And, a lot of people, I don't want to say things. I don't want things come out of my mouth, but what I'm talking. People don't have the time and day. And that guy will just sit down and talk to anybody. And he's just so cool and calm, and everybody wants. I can never say anybody say a bad thing about Frank at all. Just love that guy to pieces, and I support everything that he does. That is good. Good for you. I mean, if he doesn't walk in the door, and like you said, look what transpired out of all of it. And here you are playing in Y&T, one of your favorite bands. Watching Phil, and now you're with Dave and John and Mike, and going, do you ever sit back, Aaron, and go, did this really happen? I mean, I go through that, hanging out with Billy Gibbons and Alice Cooper, and I get in my car to go home and I go, did this really happen? But you made it work, right? You find a way, you're genuine, people understand you, and you find that chemistry and that good personality, and my goodness.
Yeah, it's something that, it's that classic line, be careful what you wish for, and with me, it's a lot like that movie Rockstar with Marky Mark and Jennifer Aniston, which is one of my favorite movies. I reference this all the time because, he
I lost your audio again.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Sudden people decide they want to start calling me all day. But with the Mark Wahlberg character, growing up with the posters on his walls and idolizing a band growing up, that was me with Y&T. I mean, really, those were the first songs that I learned how to play when I was playing bass. I was learning Y&T songs, and then the band that we had when we were kids, we learned all of the Black Tiger record, and then Mean Street came out. By the way, I cut school to go buy Mean Street at the So with all that, and and then pictures on the walls, and went and saw Y&T on New Year's Eve with Dio. It was Dio, Y&T, and Dawkins opening.
Wow.
And it's my birthday. My birthday's on New Year's Eve. So I had just turned 15 years old that concert. And when I left that concert, I mean, Y&T blew everyone away, But when I left that concert, man, I was just such a huge fan of the band Y&T. And being a local boy out of San Jose, the Bay Area, California, if you were a Y&T fan, you were kind of like, what? Like, what's wrong with you? So, yeah, Y&T played a huge part in my young upbringing of music and all that stuff. So to be in the band, yeah, it's amazing. It really is. And they're great guys. And we get along great, and we have a good time on the road, and I'm just really, really fortunate at this age to be able to be doing what I'm doing, and and it just seems to be working. So
keep doing what you're doing, brother. I've had to see, oh my goodness, at least 8 times. We are blessed here in Poughkeepsie. Y&T is a fixture in Poughkeepsie, New York, every February at the Chance or close to it. In fact, I think you guys played February 21st, and I just went on a cruise before the virus hit, or I would have been at that show, because my last show was February 15th over at Daryl's house, or at Richfield Playhouse, actually, for Roger Hobson of Supertramp, who doesn't play a lot at all. And when I heard that, I said, I got to meet this guy. Been a fan since the early 70s. I got to go to the show, and I got to meet Roger. And then my wife and I flew to Puerto Rico and went on a cruise, or I would have been at the Y&T show again at the chance. So we're blessed to have you guys back each and every year. Like you mentioned, Black Tiger, Mean Streak, Contagious, Hang 'em High. Obviously, Summertime Girls. And any favorite track that you love performing of Y&T songs?
You just named it. Hang 'em High.
Oh,
man.
my goodness. Yes, sir.
I love all of them. They all have, I mean, I've said this many times too, is that there isn't a bad Y&T song. I mean, you just can't find a bad Y&T song. So, to be able to play this stuff, what's crazy is I'll be on stage playing, let's say, Forever, which is usually our closer. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, I'm playing with one of my favorite bands of all time. This song that I've listened to so many times, soul, it's like, so, playing all these songs, man, these classic Y&T songs, it's so fulfilling. And it's like come full circle for myself, because growing up on it to being able to be, a grown man here still playing music, so it's a dream come true, man. It's really
good
cool.
For you. Hard work pays, and you put the work into it, and look what happens. I always tell everybody, man, you create your own path. How bad, as you mentioned, how bad do you want it? Lipstick and Leather, Dirty Girl. Oh my goodness, I can go on and on. I love Y&T, and can't wait to have you back. But I want to talk back to your stuff. Live for Today, so relevant, Aaron, that you could turn around and it's all over with tomorrow. Like touring, like what the norm was. I ask artists, I've had Billy Gibbons on a couple of weeks ago. I had the guys from Styx. What do you miss? It's like, it's got to be so emotional to be back on the bus, to do a live show in front of a live audience again. It's like, we all take things for granted. Talk to me about Live for Today, the idea behind it, and why you wrote it, and how it all came about.
Well, let me just pull back, go back a little bit. Is I released my first single back in January. Was it No, September. God, because I've been releasing singles after single, but it was called Insanity, which, by the way, Frank Hannon plays on as well. I released that, and then I thought maybe that would be, the only single I put out for who knows how long, because I would have thought that the band would have gotten busier quicker. I think we all thought that things wouldn't be lasting as long as they have, that some sort of normalcy would have transpired a lot sooner, but whatever, So I continue to just keep recording and making music. I felt like if I'd be doing myself a disservice if I just, wasn't doing anything creative. So this has all been really for me, to do something for myself that I've been wanting to do for a long time, which is put out some solo music, share it. I get off on recording and mixing and producing stuff. So, it's a lot of fun. But after a few singles that I put out, I was thinking, all right, well, why don't I put together, compile everything to a 4-song EP. So that's how the EP transpired, was just basically compiling the 4 songs that I had finished already as a physical product. And then after that, I thought, well, that EP, it kind of represents a sort of sound. It's more like a 70s California pop kind of a vibe. It's a little softer, but it's still rocking. I mean, there's rock elements, but it's acoustic based. It's pretty chill. So then I decided I got to write some rock and roll, and so Live for Today. So I had the song brewing for a little while. I just had to get the lyrics done. And honestly, for me, writing lyrics is probably the most difficult thing to do when it comes to writing a song. It really is almost like going into a trance. It's like I forget what day it is. I don't know what's around. I just kind of lose control of my life until a song. So Live for Today was basically just that. I was reminiscing in a way of, we lost touring. People lost jobs. People lost loved ones to death. I mean, just a lot of things in the last 15 months that transpired, a lot of loss. And
Absolutely.
you know, what comes down to it is we just don't know what's tomorrow. All we have is today. And I know that that's kind of a cliche, but at the same time, that is very real. And to stand where you are at the moment and really take stock of, you know, where you're at the moment. And are you happy? Are you miserable? I mean, what's your situation, you know, but you figure it out. You know, get in touch with yourself and you know, that's part of the lyrical content, but and some of the meaning, but then also, you know, we live in a culture now that, you know, things seem really upside down and very like polar opposites and negatives that for me are very foreign and alien. It's just strange. It's strange times, man. Some people are happy with it this way. I'm not personally. And I hope things can change for the better. And again, you know, that's part of the lyrical content in the song. So, you know, what we knew 15 months ago is no longer. It's different now. And so it changed. You just don't know day to day how things are moving so fast and you know, things change so quickly. It used to be changes would be coming every week or month or year, but no, it's daily now. So just got to really, you know, live for today, man.
No, I totally agree with you, Aaron. Totally agree. I did listen to the 4 tracks, Insanity, which is great. All of them are great. Tell Me, Jewel, Judy, Good, Don't Say Goodbye. Is songwriting therapeutic for you, Aaron? A way to get things out from, you know, whether it's bad relationships or a place that you were at or things or how you were raised or growing up? Is it therapeutic, a release to put it into words? Like you said, it was very hard to write the lyric, but is it a way to get it out and say, hey, off my chest and yay?
Yeah, definitely. It's just a documentation of where you're at in your life at that time, you know. So it's kind of like you know, it's an open diary, really. You know, a lot of songwriters would probably describe it that way, as just being an open book, you know, of someone's life. But you know, there's times that songs are written about, you know, not necessarily yourself, you know,
Right.
and you know, when the antenna is up, as I've been putting it lately, when you know you're receiving something and you know, okay, this is something I should really take this before it goes away and do something with it. You know, so that's what those songs are really. You know, the antenna was up, I received it, and now it's put out to the world. You know, so
Very cool. Is there, so I know, like you mentioned before, you were releasing singles and then you compiled them into the EP. Is the plan to continue that, or what are you thinking? You have more songs on the shelf that you want to just release them one at a time, or you want to put out another EP? What are you thinking?
I think that the trend today, right now, in recorded music and actually, you know, trying to put it out to the world is singles, because, and I will do, you know, another compilation of songs once I have enough to put on a physical product. But you know, with singles, people don't have a whole lot of time anymore to, you know, sit down and listen to a whole record of 12 or 13 songs. I mean, remember when people would put out CDs of 16 songs and then, you know, I mean, that's an incredible amount of time to spend at one sitting, you know, and it just seems that no one has time for that anymore. So singles just gives enough, and if people want more, there will be more there for them to get.
No, I like that. And I certainly gravitating to more of what you're putting out. Any thought about a lyric video? I see that seems to be a trend anymore. Obviously, we live in a visual world. I never thought I'd be doing Zooms. I never even heard of a Zoom, 100 million phoners, but not a Zoom. And here you are, like you said, 15 months later, we're doing Zooms and stuff, which is great. Any thought about doing a video or a lyric video and sharing that out, since it could go viral? But I guess there's obviously, like anything else, there comes a cost to do that and time.
Yes, for Live for Today, we'll have a video. I'm trying, I've just been talking to the videographer guy about a storyboard and coming up with some locations, and, you know, just trying to pull some ideas together to kind of convey the song without giving it all away, but something worth watching. You know, that's the thing with videos is lyric videos are cool, you know, I guess, you know, if you've got some really great lyrics, you know, but I'm not really into lyric videos. I would rather just hear the song without some sort of graphic getting in the way. Just let me hear the song. But
Gotcha.
But to have an actual full-blown production of a video that's got some you know, meaning behind it and whatnot, and some graphic visuals, things like that, something interesting, that's what I'm into.
I like that.
Something I'm going to be getting done here very shortly. I'm in the process, actually. I just started the process. So I would say probably could be the end of June that the video for Live for Today could be out.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I'm getting ready to launch Squid TV. I'll share that with you. I kind of miss MTV, but I want to do my radio show on videos. So I did my Billy Gibbons, and I love Billy, and I've known him for a long time now, and I'm going to kick it off with Billy, and then I'm going to have 5 or 6 artists like yourself. I'll have you do a video promo for me when we're done, and then put out the video right behind it. So you get exposure, and hopefully people hit the subscribe button, and we boom from there. So I'm sharing what my mind's been going through for the last 15 months. I'm like, we live in this video world. Nobody wants to hear me on the radio, although I'm going to still do what I do. But I'm like, no, I'm going to do this. You got to think outside the box once in a while. You're an accomplished engineer, mixer, producer. Obviously, you love being in the studio. Besides being a musician and a listener, Aaron, what are the skill sets needed to be a very successful producer? What do you love best about being on the other side of the board and helping somebody out and dealing with that challenge?
Well, like I said, you know, I'm a real lover of being creative in the studio. I mean, I started recording when I was really young, you know, on a 4-track, like a cassette 4-track. And I used to have this old Yamaha, you know, 4-channel little mixer that would short out when you would turn up the faders, things like that. I always had crappy gear when I was growing up. And so I learned on crappy gear and learned how to make it sound really good. I used to bounce my 4-track cassettes to VHS hi-fi tape so it would retain more sound. Like, that's how into it I was. Then I would bounce it back so I'd have more tracks opened up to keep recording instruments, you know. So I come from a way old school way of thinking about recording, but you know, with the digital thing now, it's, you know, you can do it anywhere, anytime, and
send a file out, it comes back to you
in small spaces, things like that. But I really enjoy working with other people on their stuff, because then it allows me to concentrate more on the sonics and the production of it. I'm really into mixing, and you know, the engineering aspect I enjoy to do for myself. And I find that when I'm in a studio and I'm recording and there's another engineer that's running the show, I get really antsy. Like, I want to jump in and I want to start, you know, can you get out of the way? I know what I need to do here, you know, but I don't do that. But so yeah, I enjoy working with people in the studio and you know, mixing.
And I'm sure that's got to help you grow as a musician anyway, right? People come in with different ideas and you go, I never thought of it that way. Well, why don't you add this or do that? So that's only going to make you a better artist and a musician in the long run, is the way I'm looking at it. And I know you produced, I think, one of Frank's records, if I read correctly. And I know you worked with Y&T on that side of the board. But I can't let you go without asking about the great Y&T. Any new news that you can share working on? I know Acoustic Volume 1 came out. Is there any talk getting the guys together again once this whole thing goes away, maybe working on a new album? You guys are the hardest band on the road. I mean, you guys are out there all the time, like a Cheap Trick, nonstop. So give me the plan so us Y&T fans have an idea of what's going on before we talk about the Vagabond and your live stream tonight.
Okay, so with the Y&T, you know, I don't even really know how to put this, but I don't know when there will be any new music.
Okay.
Honestly, I was hoping that in this time away that we maybe would have done something, but you know,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And I've been really trying to break that down in my own way and think that, well, maybe this was just built for me. This time was for me to do something. So, you know, so it's all good, you know, no matter what. But I can imagine that, you know, we would put something out. Something's got to come out. I mean, I want to, besides being on the acoustic record that we did, you know, that's the one record that I am on, but I would love to be able to write with the guys and you know, play on an actual real rock Y&T all new material record. You know, I mean, that's bucket list stuff for me. Hopefully the other guys in the band feel the same way, that they would want to do something like that. Honestly, we haven't talked much in the last 15 months. You know, we ended that tour and got sent home early because of what was happening with the closures and things like that. So you know, after we got home, I mean, we really just kind of everyone went their own ways and started living their own lives, you know, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. We are August 13th and 14th doing a couple live shows, and that'll be our first ones back. So I'm really stoked about that. Well, and we have a European tour booked for next year that's been moved twice already. I mean, it's, you know, things were constantly shifting. We had so much on the calendar that either fell away or got postponed, you know, just like everybody else. But, and then going back to another acoustic album, well, it's named Volume 1 for a reason. There will be a Volume 2, I would think, eventually. You know, there's so many great Y&T songs that can be turned into that sort of format, the acoustic format. You know, there's some of these songs are built for it, you know.
Absolutely. Well, you know, like you said, the light's at the end of the tunnel. It's just a matter of time. I'm sure you'll hear from Dave and start rehearsing. And I'm sure that the language of, hey, what are we doing? But you took advantage of it. You ain't sitting home. You're working with Frank. You're on that video, the song Ride Strong, getting out of that cool car, 24,000 views. I mean, you're working on your new stuff. So look, you know, like you said, live for today. Could be over with tomorrow. So you guys want to hang out? You hang out. I'm not hanging out. I'm moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, a big live stream event tonight. Prince's birthday today. I love Prince. I can't even imagine, boy, where we would be today if he was still rocking with us. And I know you must be a Prince fan. Talk about tonight's live stream, where the fans can go and listen to you guys do a tribute for Prince.
So I'm getting my acoustic duo together that we haven't been together in a couple years now, but called Vagabond Brothers. And, you know, we usually around town, a couple years ago, we would be playing around town locally, doing classic rock covers, things like that, but all acoustic, a lot of fun, keeps the vocal chops going, and, you know, just keeps you busy when you're off the road. But the guy that I play with, Mickey Garrett, he's a huge Prince fan as well. And we've known each other since I think I was 11 years old when we met. And so to be playing music together still today, you know, and being mutual uber Prince fans. So we put something together for tonight, Prince's birthday, June 7th here. I don't know if this is going to be out for anyone to know if they could tune in or not, but I'm actually sitting in the space right now that we're going to be doing it in.
Cool.
And if I turn this camera a little this way,
there you go. Nice.
So yeah, we're getting ready for tonight, and you know, it's a Vagabond Brothers event. So if you go to the Facebook and look up Vagabond Brothers on Facebook, you can get to the live stream there. And I will also be sharing it on my Aaron Leigh Facebook as well. So if anyone sees this, well, come on out tonight, live streaming, Prince tribute, all acoustic. And I'll tell you, man, we're going deep cuts and we're going big hits. And he is not easy to sing, man. It's hard.
I'm not a musician. I'm a diehard fan, and yeah, that's I can only imagine, dude. I can only imagine. Where can the fans pre-order, Aaron, Live for Today now on your website, or wait till June 25th?
Well, you're the first one I'm telling this right now, because I just finished uploading Live for Today to aaronleigh.com, that you can preview Actually, you can hear the whole track on my website, aaronleigh.com. If you go up to the left-hand corner at the very top, and there's a player up there, you can hit play and you can hear Live for Today, if you'd like. And you can also download it. So it's available on my website only at aaronleigh.com. It will be out June 25th on all streaming platforms. It'll be available everywhere on June 25th.
Well, I'm definitely going to add it to our rotation, Aaron, and get as many spins as possible. And I'm going to shoot that video out as soon as you're able to release that and put that out. My man, thank you so much. I hope I've had a great time having a wonderful chat with you. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have.
Yes, absolutely, Patrick. I really appreciate your time.
And talk about your socials real quick. I know and thank you for taking me as a Facebook friend and Instagram. I did that first thing this morning to follow each other, and I'm going to tag all of that once I get done with this today. You're Aaron Leigh, leigh.com. You're on Instagram. Yeah, I believe you're also on YouTube, right? You can hit the subscribe button.
Yep. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's enough, right?
That's enough. Yeah, it's enough to keep track of. It's too much, actually.
And Y&T fans, go to YNANDT rocks.com and check out the upcoming shows. As Aaron mentioned, August 14th. I think Frank's one of Frank's bands, Red Voodoo, is opening up for Y&T. And one of the 14th or the 15th. I got Dino actually on tomorrow. So all good stuff. Great show with a great artist. Support this cat. He's working hard. Keep it going. Check him out on the tour with Y&T and buy as much as you can. And if he puts out an EP, buy the EP. So when you see him, he can autograph it. You can't autograph Spotify. I hate to tell you that, but it's all good. Aaron, much success, buddy. My door is always open. You need anything, give me a holler.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Keeping new music alive on Pat Soundbytes IGTV with Aaron Leigh. Right here. Don't forget June 25th and this live stream tonight. Go check it out.